What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel in the Chevrolet Silverado. I know it's been a while, but nothing's happened to the truck until recently. And if you couldn't tell from the beginning, we got some new shoes on the old girl. So first off, a little bit of history. This truck, when I bought it, I took the wheels and tires off of the black RST and put it right on. They were some Moto Metal MO 970s wrapped in Goodyear Ultra Train AT 285/65 R20 tires. Those tires had about 25,000 miles on them when they went on this truck, and they came off when this truck had about 35. So a good amount of mileage out of those Goodyears. So those numbers might be off a little bit, but roughly 55, 60,000. And when I took them off, they still were serviceable. So I gave them to my cousin. They're on his truck now. So good value, but we're talking about the new shoes. So let's get into it. So out with the old, in with the new. The old ones were 285/65 R20, which came out to a 34.6 by 11.2 inch tire. These new tires, if you couldn't tell, are 35 by 1250 R20. So we are running true 35s on the truck now, which is sweet. Size-wise, they are just barely taller than the Goodyears, and from 11.2 to 12.5 width. That's 1.3 inches. Also, just completely neglected to mention, what are they? They are Nitto Ridge Grapplers. Very popular tire. Once again, 35, 1250 R20. So, a little bit taller, 1.3 inches wider. And let's get to the other specs that are different than the Goodyears. So number one, besides the size, is the tread pattern. So these are a hybrid terrain, hybrid mud, hybrid all-terrain. I think they look awesome. Tread pattern is freaking sweet. So they are a little bit more suited for mud and a little more off-road oriented than the Goodyears, although the Goodyears were very good and very off-road oriented. These are hybrid terrain. Just that pattern is freaking awesome. Got to stand on this side so there's no shadow. Number two, these are F-rated tires. So they are 12 ply. The Goodyears were E-ply, and if we look on the interior of the door here, the original tires were C. If this thing would focus, maybe not. All right, they were C. I'll probably put a note here. I have no idea. Are they 6, 8? I know E-ply is 10. These are F. They're 12. Essentially, that means they can hold more weight, and they can hold more weight at a certain PSI. So these are massive overkill in terms of 12 ply for this truck. This is a 3,500 truck ply rating, just for, you know, having loads on trailers, payload, etc. So these are massive overkill. E-ply is also massive overkill, but they kind of only make 12 and 10 ply tires and 20-inch wheels, which is a whole thing. So that's what we're running. Now, ride quality. Coming from 10 ply to 12 ply, I don't notice a big difference on this truck. Where I do notice a difference is going into my girlfriend's F-150 that has C-ply on it, which is what the stock tires were on this truck. C-ply, a lot squishier, just a lot more all-around comfortable ride. This truck has been on E-ply tires since I've owned it, so that's all I'm used to. It's also in a lift kit, bigger tires, so going from this to a stock 2023 F-150, the F-150 feels like a Cadillac. Once again, I know what I'm getting into, so I don't really give a shit. So they are bigger, they are more aggressive, they are an F-ply as opposed to an E-ply, so they can hold more weight. What else is different? They are not 3-peak rated like the Goodyears were. 3-peak rating essentially is they stay more pliable at colder temperatures, and they have siping that help with snow evacuation and grip on ice. So these tires, the Nitto Ridge Graps, are not 3-peak rated, but they are still mud and snow rated. So if we look there, mud and snow, no 3-peak. 3-peak is advantageous, obviously. I mean, look where we're at. Do I really care? No, I usually don't even use 4-wheel drive in the snow out here, just because I actually know how to drive. So that 3-peak rating is relatively irrelevant to me. If there was an option to get the Nitto Ridge Graps with the 3-peak rating, I would take them. Once again, all this crap we're looking at is snow. It's not a huge selling point for me though. Advantage, yes. Necessity, clearly not. Truck has 4-wheel drive. And I think the test for it is like it has to accelerate in some sort of inches of snow at some rate. I don't know. There's probably some truth behind it, but ain't it? All right, so they're bigger, they're wider, they're more aggressive for mud and all terrain. They are F-ply, no 3-peak rating, not siped. Yeah, there's not really. Let's run over and take a look. Yeah, there's not siping on these. So once again, siping is be little like cuts in the tire, little grooves, and so when the tire touches ice, it kind of spreads out and it grabs more. So ain't got that, but not worried. Now, in particular to my truck, this is a 2021 Chevy Silverado Custom Trail Boss with the 2-inch ReadyLift lift kit on top of the Trail Boss lift. So it's got a 4-inch lift kit. I am on Fuel Clash 20x10 negative 18mm wheels. Do they fit? Yes, they do. So the Goodyear's barely rubbed, and these are only barely bigger, so it'll focus. This is at full lock the way I parked it. We can see there's about 1 inch in the front. And then on the back side, if this thing would focus, we got clearance back there as well. So attributed to the way I parked, yes, they are clear currently. Once again, the Goodyear's rubbed barely as they wore through their tread. They stopped rubbing. These in reverse on certain inclines will barely contact the fender liner on what would be that wheel. So it would be the back of the fender liner. If you turn the wheel from here to there, that much will correct and it won't rub. So there is minor rubbing. I have done some modifications to the wheel wells, but ain't nothing to it. I suspect if the truck were in a hardcore off-road situation, you know, really flexed out and everything, they would contact pretty heavily under a full lock. So just don't turn the wheel all the way. We'll see. I'm gonna take this truck on something difficult this summer. It's just been too much of a pavement princess lately. So that's why we're out here in the boonies. I'm trying to keep my shadow out of the video here. So other than that, all those specs on them, first impressions, they've been on the truck for about, I don't know, I'd say 4,000 miles. In my opinion, they are much quieter than the Goodyears. That's something I've been enjoying. The truck is straight piped, so in the seldom moments where it's not just rumbling its brains out, the road noise on the tires is far quieter than the Goodyears. That seems to be a trend with the Goodyear Wranglers. People complain about the noise, especially the stock Duratracks that come on this truck. So in the first 4,000 miles, the Nitto Ridge Graps are much quieter. I like it when I can notice it. Second, stability. They feel very stable on the highway. The truck got aligned as well. It was very barely out, so I didn't even make a video. I think the toe was slightly out. Camera was fine, so they adjusted that. I got it aligned before the tires went on, so it tracks completely perfectly. And yeah, fuel economy is pretty much the same. They're a little bit heavier, but the truck, it's dog shit fuel economy anyway. Ain't nothing to it. So I think for the time being, first impressions, I am happy with them. And we're gonna have to wait until all this white crap goes away so we can take her off-road and really test the performance. But from day to day, I'm happy with them. They are very expensive, so we're gonna see how many miles I get out of them. The Goodyear's got me about 60, we'll call it. So I'm hoping to see that out of these Nittos. Yeah, boy. So that's all I got for you guys in this one. Just kind of a first impression and showing y'all the new shoes on the Chevrolet Silverado. If y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. But we're gonna test these tires out and gotta wait a couple months, but we'll see how they do. And I'll give you some more updates as we put some more miles on them. But after about 4,000, I'm happy with the $2,000 purchase of these Nitto Ridge Graps.